Am I a big time YouTuber now since I've got a crate for my camera gear? But yeah, I picked up this little case from Harbor Freight for like 13 bucks. And did I need it for my stuff? No, because what I was doing for the longest time was just carrying all my stuff around in one of these velvet 6-cent sacks that they would send their monthly subscription stuff out in. But as a lot of people know, GoPros and their batteries get expensive real quick. So they were just bouncing around loosely in this thing. So I figured, why not spend 13 bucks on this hard case with customizable cutouts for cameras, batteries, and whatever else. But I've got all of my batteries from my main GoPro, a couple extras from my GoPro 5, which is like my backup and or B-roll, whatever stuff. And anyway, welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're back up here at what was formerly known, well, is the crappie spot, one of them. But this time of year, I can't find crappie to save my life right here. So I want to try to do a little bit of the usual, multi-species stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get down there because we got some storms moving in tonight that are pretty nasty. So let's get down here and get to fishing. That is not the bait that I want. And you don't go down there. And I almost had a little scare a couple of days ago. I was up on the river fishing a different spot, and apparently where I had my backpack sitting wasn't as secure as I thought it was. So it and my cell phone went tumbling into the river. Fortunately, they both stopped on the edge of the rocks where I was standing at, so I was able to get them back, and the phone dried out enough to charge it shortly after. There's a deer swimming across the creek up there. It's pretty cool. It took me a second to realize what it was because, oh, that's large. What do we got? Okay, it's not large, but we'll take it. We shall take it. Little black crappie. It looks yellow because I'm wearing a yellow shirt, like usual. Yellow's not my favorite color by any stretch of the imagination, but it's an old science thing. Brighter colors absorb less heat, and if something was to happen, it's kind of hard to not see that. Hey, fishy. Another crappie. Alright now. Ooh, almost lost you. Itty bitty little slab donkey. This water's a little bit dirty, so I'm gonna probably stick to lighter colored baits. That way I've got a better chance of the fish seeing them, and it just makes sense to me to use lighter baits when the water's dirty. Fish. Skippy Jackie. Tennessee tarpon. Fish. You can feel that thump. You know what's funny? This teeny tiny little crappie right here. I had you unhooked, but I have to use the old stick method. Kind of got into the top of one of your gills, but you'll be all right. That one right there hit harder than those other crappie that I caught so far. Another fishy. Darn it. Another crappie. That one got it down a little bit far. Fortunately, we got plenty of sticks down here to remove these hooks with. another little miniature donkey. Almost didn't get that one unhooked because it was a little bit deeper than I could reach. So I'm going to go up here real quick, grab my pliers, and I will be right back. Yeah, all of that is slowly making its way up here. That's a lot of rain, a lot of storms. But anyway, if you want to help the channel out, just like, share, comment, subscribe. Any of those things helps the channel out more than you think it does. Like any of those small little interactions tells YouTube's algorithm, hey, that channel's video is getting noticed. We should push it just a little bit more. So the more of those little interactions that there are, the better. If there's another channel you like watching, do the same thing for them. It helps everybody out when you do it. Helps the channel out, and it helps the viewers out. Because little do a lot of people know, if you are watching a channel consistently and you slowly stop seeing it pop up in your channel feed or whatever, it's because you're not interacting with that channel. Like, I could watch any of, say, Creek Fishing Adventures videos, and if I just stop watching them and stop reacting to them and all that, YouTube's algorithm is going to slowly stop pushing that into what I like to watch. But I watch all of his stuff, so you get my point. Anyway, let's get back to fishing. I'm getting kind of low on these chartreuse Berkley Gulps, but if you're wondering what jig head I'm using, it's a mule fishing jig head. It's a 1/32 ounce. I actually need to redo that because that bait is getting a little bit tore up. Actually, I need to just go ahead and swap that out. But yeah, these are three right here. I always keep at least one jar of each with me. That's a smelt color 1-inch Berkley Gulp chartreuse, and this one I've just recently started using. It's a good bit smaller in the body, so you got to use a pretty short shank hook, but this is the chartreuse fish fry. Works really good for bluegill, crappie, and stuff like that. And I don't know how true it is, but I heard somewhere that the Berkley Gulps were banned in some crappie tournaments because they were just working too good. Whether that's true or not, like I said, I don't know. It's just, you know, through the grapevine kind of thing. You know, every so often I get questions on what type of jig heads I'm using, or what jig heads in specific that I'm using in a video. And there's really only 3 different ones, well, technically 4 different ones that I ever use. And I might as well show you this one. I've got it out here. This is my terminal box for crappie, creek fishing, stuff like that. It's just got 1/64, 1/32 ounce, just all mixed up. I ain't too particular. 1/16, 1/8, and then, you know, a couple extra 1/16, and then this is just a loose baits box. I don't put anything that's made of Elastec or anything like the Nico baits or mule baits in that particular tray because those baits like to melt. But anyway, back on topic. The type of jigs that I use most of the time going to be the mule fishing jig heads. That one I think is the Workhorse or something like that. Either way, it's a mule fishing jig head. I'll put that in a separate box. Another one, and I've got 2 different sizes of them that I like to use because they're cheap. You can get 50 of them for like $8 from Amazon, and these are the Tamora fly tying jig heads. They're just a straight shank hook, no collar, nothing. 1/64 ounce and 1/32 ounce. I really like or honestly prefer collarless jig heads because they don't tear up your baits as much. And that one I'm gonna keep out because I'm using. And then the others that I like to use a lot, and I don't have any with me, are the Arky sickle heads. This is just a chartreuse 1/16 ounce. Good for baits about the size of like bobby garlands, crappie magnets, you know, stuff about that size. You get down into smaller sizes like trout magnets. These are a little too big as far as the hook goes. And the others that I like to use, these are 1/8, and I don't really use them that much unless I just need the distance, or B&M, just ball head jigs. I use them in like 1/32 ounce, 1/16, and 1/8 ounce. That's about it. I keep it fairly simple as far as the jig heads go, and yeah, that's about it. I do carry an unusual amount of baits though that I don't ever actually use. Like, I'll carry 20 pounds worth of gear and use the same 3 baits over and over. Something I've noticed so far today. Started out using that chartreuse Berkley Gulp, and they were all over it. Swapped over to the smelt color, they ain't touched it yet. And I've been throwing it around for several minutes. Alright, we switched back up. We got a little chartreuse Berkley Gulp on there now. And I'll do a little bit different jig head so it doesn't tear them up so bad. Fish. It's been a few minutes, but finally got one. Did I catch you earlier? Your face is red. I know your jaw's kind of tore up, but oh, that's just bubbles in your slime coat. What was that? You know, something finally came along and ate the chartreuse one after a couple of casts, but kind of possible, maybe prove my point. They just want the chartreuse color today, and that is not where I wanted to cast. Ish. Bite has got slew. Owie. Show you what I caught this monster on here in a second if I can get it unhooked. But yeah, the bite has definitely slowed down considerably. I don't know if the barometric pressure's changing or what, but it's just a little eagle claw swim bait head, 1/32 ounce, and a Bobby Garland 2-inch. I think it was the pearl mist or white, I don't know what it was. I can't remember that color, but anyway, this is one of the baits that I had started a challenge type thing on back around September or so, just testing out different scented baits. And I marinated 3 packs of the same exact bait in 3 different scents, and this one I never got around to because I kind of sort of lost it. But this is, I believe, the slab sauce. Now, one thing that I noticed with this stuff here, it didn't do it with the other ones, but with this one here, of course it's probably because it was in the package and lost for so long, is it made this bait considerably stiffer. Like the tail still got a lot of action, but the bait is stiffer, and it also made the body part of it just a little bit shorter. It's kind of shrunk it more or less, but it absorbed so much of that scent because, like I said, it's been marinating in that stuff for shoot, going on 6 months. I don't know exactly when I started that whole scented baits thing. But if you're going to let something marinate in a scent that's, you know, the bait isn't scented, I wouldn't let it sit as long as I did. You know, a week, 2 weeks, if you really want to get it saturated, should be good to go. Like I was trying to do 1 scent per week, but like I said, I kind of lost the 1 package for a couple of months. Well, everybody, well, that car needs to get something checked on because that exhaust fumes was rich. We're calling it quits on this spot here. The bite just really just shut off like hard. I don't know what the deal was. Just all of a sudden, like nothing. Green sunfish, shiners, and stuff like that, nothing's biting now. So we're going to hit one more spot on the way home because it's literally on my way home. So if we do, we'll see in just a minute. If not, this will be a fairly short video. Well, the last spot on the way home didn't happen, and it's entirely because there was a mama goose, a daddy goose, and some freshly hatched goslings. And I'm not about to fight 2 thunder chickens that size over a fish or snags that I probably would have more likely got into. But anyway, fish were caught, and scented baits, I've just said it a dozen times before, scented baits are very worth having on hand when you're going fishing, like whether it be the Berkley Gulps or what have you. The Berkley Gulps, I think, are the better ones. Like you can get the scents separately and just marinate whatever your favorite baits are. But the Berkley Gulp, the 1-inch ones, they're just so good at catching fish, whether it be little fish and they're so good at catching big fish too. It's not as likely, but it's possible. Like this fisher right here is the biggest bass I've ever caught. It's 6 pounds 10 ounces. Caught it on a little 1/32 ounce head like I was using today, and a 1-inch Berkley Gulp while I was crappie fishing. So I'll leave a link in the description to that video so you can go check it out, or an iCard if I can remember to, which I hardly ever remember to do the iCard thing. But yeah, get you a couple tubs or the little packets of the Berkley Gulps and try them out. They catch fish, a lot of them too. Anyway, hope you liked the video. This outro's gone on a little bit longer than I like, so we'll see you